least shoot.
Hey guys, came from 15. Join my Uncle Daryl talking about yes, the Bears that I don't want to talk about anymore. I'm done. I said in my game recap, I'm legitimately all tapped out with the dang Bears for the rest of the season. And it's like my freaking thumbnail says, we got one more game to go. Thank God. And then we can finally hopefully get some necessary changes. Obviously, the title of this video is Ryan Paul. Ryan Paul needs to go because he's a flat out joke in my opinion. But
Oh, now he's come on, y'all, man. I've been saying this for weeks. I've been saying it for a long time that the very second Kevin Warren said he was spearheading this so-called search for a head coach. At that point, I said then, and I'm gonna say it now. What was it? Maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, that he should just go ahead and cut bait and let Poles go because his trust in Ryan Poles, it is not there.
yeah. Um
And just cut bait, let it go, and then let us Bears fans worry about something else like the Chicago Bulls. Oh, we can't worry about Chicago Bulls; they suck too. Um, maybe the Chicago Sky. No, they're not bad. They're bad too. The Blackhawks.
oh,
No, they bad. They bad too. Um, Oh, let's see. I can't. Well, maybe there's hope for the Chicago Cubs. That's probably the best thing going in the city of Chicago from a sports standpoint, anyway. So, sorry, city of Chicago, but
I'm a Clippers and Angels fan, so who the fuck cares about the other teams, in my opinion?
well, I mean, I do. I'm still a ride or die Chicago dude, man. But it's just that old adage keeps coming up. Wait till next year, and here we go.
Yeah, next year is huge, and I said it last night after we're recording this Thursday or Friday night, well my time, but I said
Yeah.
at some point enough is enough. You need to just cut bait with Ryan Poles, fire him the moment that the game in Green Bay is over, or do the Black Monday thing and be like, you know what? You're clearly a head case. He's had too many problems already. That game last night was atrocious. The Bears,
Mm-hmm.
it was a winnable game. A winnable game.
Yep.
And the offense barely can move the ball. At some point, I'm just looking at the freaking Seattle defense. They're putting nine, almost 10 guys on the line and going all out, engage eight blitz. I'm like, is there no quick hitters? Is there anything to just run a simple drag route across the middle of the field and to get the ball out your hands, Caleb? Something.
And
No.
even let's just say what and Adunze is really good at fade routes, man. I gotta admit, you throw that ball up there to him, and I mean he just goes and go gets it. So I'm saying pretty much the same thing, dude. If you in cover zero, man, do four verticals and just throw the ball up to someone. But nothing, man. I gotta admit, I was so done with them with that game, I should say. I'm not really done with the Bears itself, but that game, that was a hard watch, man. That was a hard watch. I gotta admit, and I honestly think that Ryan Poles, I've been on your side, bro, but it's time. It's really time. Um, you have had what 3 years
Three
to
years.
3 years to put this thing together. But honestly, from where I sit, I don't blame Poles for the entire fiasco. I don't blame him. For me, he's done a really good job. The problem that I think has fallen at his feet is that failure to build an offensive line, that failure to build a complete and solid coaching staff.
Yep.
That, for me, is where he has dropped the ball. He has put together a really good roster. Everybody across the league, um, media prognosticators and ESPN and all these other different outlets, they raved about this roster, raved about it. And the only person you can actually put at the top of that, all of those congratulatory comments, is the fact that Ryan Poles did his job as a GM. But that offensive line, I'm sorry, that's your mishap, and he has got to be called out for that.
It's the second cheapest offensive line in all of the NFL. You
Well,
see
think
it?
of it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the five guys that just started.
I said I broke it down last night in the game recap. I said you look at that offensive line that you put in front of Caleb Williams last night. You had Darnell Wright, who's the one lone starter.
Yep.
And next up, Matt Pryor. He's a backup right guard, and he's playing out of position. Actually, he's like a
Yep.
tackle, but
Yep.
he's playing right guard. He's a backup.
Yep.
Coleman Shelton. He's a
Coleman
backup.
Shelton. Yep.
Jake Curran, who you could say cost us the freaking game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
He's a backup, if not just a practice squad player.
Yep. That was that penalty in the second quarter.
Yep. And then Larry Borum.
Larry Bourne. I mean, my goodness gracious. I don't even know where to start.
He's a backup. You look at the offensive line, you just feel it out there, right? And it's a bunch of backups and
Yep.
one starter, and you expect Caleb Williams to work with that? Now, again,
And keep in mind that one starter, he was the only one first round draft pick.
yeah. And even
First round draft pick. From what we all agree, because I know your point on, stop drafting these players from these, you know,
FCS level
yeah,
competition.
these small, not necessarily small schools, but schools that don't really put their kids out there to be NFL products.
Yeah.
Man, I'll be like, dude, and then sometimes I'll say, and I'm an SEC guy, man. I am, and I'm sitting over here like, listen, you put Darnell Wright, who's an SEC player, ex-SEC player, put him up there with four other SEC players. What you think you're gonna have in the offensive line?
Yeah. And even then, you saw some Bear fans like, oh, I don't know about the Darnell Wright pick. We probably should have still taken Jalen Carter. I
No,
don't
man.
care either or. I use this analogy as this. Yeah, you can say Jalen Carter could be great. We don't know if Darnell Wright can be great because guess who's his offensive line coach and Chris Morgan. He's got all.
Correct.
And then
Correct.
just imagine if okay, fine, you do get Jalen Carter. Your defensive line is bolstered, right? Right? Okay,
Correct.
fine. Who's the right tackle?
Correct. And then on top of that, you have to juggle your needs. Which one is the priority? At that time, it was offensive line. We had to have an offensive line. You knew doggone well we were going to be drafting a quarterback. What's the best thing to do when you get drafting a quarterback? Get an offensive line. You knew these things. You knew these things were coming. And then I don't care what football team you got. You have to be able to win at the line of scrimmage. You got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage. Run the ball, stop the run. Quarterback don't make any mistakes. You can't do any of that with a solid offensive line. So don't give me all of that. Well, we should have drafted Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter has not been great in Philadelphia.
He's been great as of late, because the Philadelphia defense has taken off. But regardless,
Well,
it's like
he's been great as of late because of the assimilation of the products and the people around him.
Yeah.
He's got a good coaching staff. He's got that defense is, oh my goodness gracious, that defense is lit.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what else did they do? They drafted SEC dudes. Jalen Carter, Georgia. Who else is on that defensive line?
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis, Big 99, Georgia. Linebacking core, two of them from Georgia. Come on, man. Yeah. Come on. I'm just like, listen, Poles, I get what you're saying, dude. But man, you gotta you gotta go to that NFL minor league that the SEC has and get some cats and get some dogs, man. And that's what Philadelphia has done.
Yeah, and He had his ESPN 1000 like little press conference meeting that he has with Jeff Joniak. And personally, I'd rather just have him with an actual beat reporter on the Bears where they're asking the questions. Because we know Jeff Joniak, he literally works for the freaking team because he's literally the play-by-play guy on the radio. So he's gonna
Yeah.
have to ask him these soft questions. It's like one of the questions about like the freaking offensive line. He talked, and I meant to mention in my game recap last night. I said, because he's talking about the injuries and everything. He's like, it's been very challenging to overcome. It's another one of those things that I need to reflect on so we can fix it and move forward. Well, I look at that comment and then I date back before the season even started. Your ass is basically saying this is the deepest, most depth we've ever had of the offensive line, any team can have. And I'm looking at this depth. I'm like, you sure that's depth? Because even your starters ain't even quality guys out there. And then you got guys out there who are backups who, all intents and purposes, they look like they probably should be on the practice squad, or they should be in the combination of the XFL and the freaking UFL or in Canadian football.
Well, for me, that offensive line, the only one that's worthy of a starting nod is Darnell Wright. I don't care. Braxton Jones too. Braxton Jones too. I'm tired of hearing about how he is progressing and how he's moving forward. He's coming together. And I'm like, dude, man, I'm just so sick and tired. I mean, Tevin Jenkins, the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, man, I'm tired of hearing that same soft, and that's what I mean. I've said that too. For me, it was just that get rid fire pose because man, dude is just soft. He's
Yeah.
soft on he's soft on the guys he brings in. Now I don't believe he didn't bring in Borman Jenkins.
No, that
I
was
think
that was
they brought it. They came in the year before him.
that's pace.
But
That's pace.
but even still, I'm like, dude, man, come on, man. And Jeff Joniak, oh golly gee.
I think he's a good play-by-play guy,
He-
but that's the wrong guy.
he's a really good play-by-play guy, but I'm just like, you know what? You can tell dude gets paid to ask these questions.
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna get paid to ask. And then do you see Ryan Poles on any other outlets?
Nope.
No.
Unless,
You see
until
him.
unless they have a press conference where he's there and he addresses the media. But even then, it's like,
And even then, it's still just like he gives that same old, soft, general comments. We're gonna be just fine. Our offensive line, our guys are working really hard. Listen, if they work, everybody in the NFL works hard. I'm not even gonna doubt that. If you want a spot on the team, you're gonna work hard.
yeah,
Everybody does that. Everybody works hard. Everybody gets hurt.
yeah,
Okay. I'm not going to sit up here and say that they don't. I'm not going to sit up here and say that, you know what? Yeah, man, this guy doesn't do this and this guy doesn't do that. The only one that I just, that probably didn't work as hard as he should have, that
Nate
we all
Davis.
got on was Nate Davis. And that's it. And they got rid of him.
Yeah,
But it took them 3 years to get rid of him.
2 years.
Oh man, okay, 2 years. Took them 2 years to realize that he's crap.
Yeah, and there were reports saying that I guess Bear coaching staff warned Ryan Poles, hey, this guy's not he's a guy he doesn't work hard. I don't think we should get him.
And then that point right there brings up the topic of Shane Waldron. He had, I mean, everyone knew about Shane Waldron being a piss poor offensive coordinator, but the Bears hired him anyway.
Yeah, and one of his comments talked about in the same interview, lack of quick start. Some of it stems back to training camp. Things not addressed. Then why are you not talking to Eberflus, bringing him into in your office and saying, "Hey, man, what are you doing out there during training camp? You're just wasting everybody's time. Get with the
Yep.
program here."
Yep. I think, like I said, Kevin Warren just needs to clean the house beneath his feet. That's the only thing we can do. Or even tell Ryan Poles, hey, dog, I don't want to fire you. I don't want to let you go. But now you gotta get some stones, man. You gotta get some stones. And you gotta still we gotta I mean, I'll let you stay on and we're gonna do this head coaching thing. But you got to get some stones, man, when it comes to these cats. Because if they're not doing the job that they need to do, you need to just go ahead and 86 their ass on somewhere else.
But here's the and see, this is the problem too. You know, they have a massive head coaching search that they have to get right, especially for the quarterback and the future of this organization. And the thing is, we don't know if these in these interviews, because we're outside people, we don't know guys like Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Joe Brady, anybody that comes in the interview is going to look at Ryan Poles across the table as they're interviewing, and they ask him, "So what's going to be your plan?" And if one of their plans is like, "Well, sorry, but I can't work with this guy. You need to get him out the building because I'm not trying to attach my wagon to this guy." You know, and if
Correct. Because keep in mind, we have humans that are in charge here, and humans have egos.
yeah,
You know, I got one, you got one. Mine is very large. I ain't even gonna lie about that. You know, but at the same time, though, humans have egos. That's the reason why we heard about Eberflus's and how shallow he was as an individual. He didn't want this guy. He didn't want this guy. He didn't want this guy. He didn't want anyone outshining him.
yeah,
You know, and that's where we are right now. Now, Pose is that kind of dude, man, I'm sorry, you got to go. You got to go because forget all of that because the goal is Super Bowl.
yeah,
Who gets credit for it? Don't don't really. I don't care. I don't care. That's what broke up Johnson and Jones. Jones really didn't like the fact that Johnson had more credit than him, so he went on and let him go
yeah,
after winning Super Bowls. Two, if I'm correct. They won two with the Cowboys. And he was just like, yeah, I can't have someone getting more credit than me. And look what happened to them. They won that one Super Bowl with Barry Switzer. And then after that, that was it. They ain't been there in a long time. And now here it is. Everyone's talking about how Jerry Jones has lost his way and the game has passed him by. I don't want to be that way.
yeah. And
I don't
then
want to be that way.
and then obviously you had the late game situation again. And when I watched that late game situation, you know, we when we first when Eberflus was fired, we and Thomas Brown was promoted. We talked about this. We talked about how is he going to handle a late game situation if he's put in that same exact situation. And lo and behold, he was put in that same exact situation. And just like Eberflus, he shot down his leg. You know, it started back with the fourth down when it was fourth down in inches. Um, Jake Kern, of course, draws a
Yep.
freaking false start. And then
Yep.
this dude's bringing on the punt team. I'm like, why? Just go for it. If you get it, you get it. If you lose,
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, dude, you are 4-12.
and I
Or
said in my game
about
recap.
or even better yet, you are about to be 4-12.
Yeah,
And you want to sit up here and be like, dude, now is not the time to be playing the same old average, everyday strategic football. Go for it. The fans will see it. The fans will appreciate it. Go for it. And if it don't work, it just don't damn work.
yeah. And I was saying,
Go for it.
I'm saying throughout the game as I'm watching, I'm like, dude, you have nothing else to lose. Just go for it.
You ain't got
I don't care if it's
just go for
fourth and 30, even
it.
if
Yep.
it's in the first quarter. Just go for it. You have nothing else
Go
to lose.
for it. Go for it.
So
Who
he
in the
brings on the
league is
punt.
not going? Who in the league is not going to hire you as a coach at this particular moment
Yeah.
because you're 4-12 or about to be four? Yeah, you're about to be 4-12, and you're put in a man. You are really put in a real piss poor position by the people above you by putting you in this job as a head coach, and you want to sit up here and play nice foot, man. Come on, no,
Yeah. So they bring the punt team
don't do
on.
that everyday stuff. Now is the time to be a gambler.
Yep. They bring on the punt team. And then after a while, that's when and obviously the crowd starts booing. And obviously,
Yep.
the number one thing also coming out of this game is the fans chanting, sell the team, sell the team. Look, I'm going to be honest. As much as we can demand, and say, yes, Keep saying it. I even said, I'm like, keep saying the chant. Even when the Bears win, keep chanting, sell the team. Now, regardless, is that going to change anything? No, because the
Ain't
McCaskies aren't going
no,
to sell.
there ain't no way in hell McCaskies are selling that team. There is no way. I mean, we're on a what, 11 game losing streak?
Yeah.
11 game losing streak. I think maybe a couple years ago we were on a 14 game losing streak. And the Bears have not been to the playoffs in
Since
what, eight,
2020,
what, 4 or 5 years?
2020, yeah, about 4 years.
2020. So I'm just like, man, that stuff don't work with George McCaskey. He don't give a rat's ass whether the team loses or wins. He don't care. He don't. He's already admitted he's not a football guy.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, he don't care. As long as we are buying his merchandise, coming to his games, and we're showing a presence as Bears fans, he gonna keep that team because those are receipts are coming in. That's business. He
Yeah.
is not. Yeah, I mean,
And
so
also, too, it's like,
stop all that stuff.
these dudes, their family married into freaking the Hallis family. So, like, you think they're going to give that up anytime soon?
No, they're not gonna give that up anytime soon. If anything, what I would probably say is, dude, you don't have to be chairman of the board.
Yeah. He
You
should be
don't have
removed.
to be chair.
They
You
fired
you
freaking I forgot. It wasn't I forgot the last McCaskey was the chairman. They fired him and they hired
yeah,
George.
you don't have to be chairman of the board. You can get somebody else, a football guy, to be chairman of the board.
Yeah.
You can do that. That way you keep those receipts coming in. And then you show your fans for me, the best way to show your fans that you are serious about making the Chicago Bears a winner is appoint a football guy as chairman of the board.
Yeah.
That's what I would probably do. Or just step down, or not necessarily step down as chairman of the board, but just allow the football people to make the decisions and stay out of it.
And that's why, if say for example, Ben Johnson comes in these interviews, George is there, obviously just listening in, and Ben Johnson says, I know you guys really want me desperately, right? Here's
Yeah.
the deal. He can't be here. Tell him to get out right now and tell him to stay out from the football stuff and tell him to be like what the Ford family is, where they just stay away and they stay in their suite and they have nothing to do, right?
And they had to come to that point too, because keep in mind the Detroit Lions were at a point where we are now too. I've never seen Bears fans wear bags over their heads.
Oh yeah,
Never seen it.
you had the three triplets there. One said, I forgot what they all
Embarrassed. I've never
embarrassing.
seen that.
I'm so
I've never seen
tired.
that. Yeah, I've never seen that as a Bears fan. Never. And we have had some really, really long losing seasons. I saw it with the Saints. I saw it with Detroit. But the Ford family did exactly what we were trying to, that were exactly what we were talking about. They stepped away, stopped doing that football, stopped doing the football stuff. They still make their money, but they got a football guy in charge. And that football guy brought on Dan Campbell.
Yeah, and
I'm saying the same thing that the Bears need to do now too. Stop it, George. Don't even enter in any type of discussions, interviews, or anything. Let the football people do their job.
yeah, the bag said, I'm tired. Why am I here? And make it stop.
Yep. Get the football people in charge.
And
Stop it.
realistically, for the Ford family, it was Martha Ford that was like, you know what? Let's let the football guys do what they need. We'll hire the football guys and
Yep.
then step aside and let them do their job.
Let them do their job. Let them do their job.
Because
Because football guys are going to hire other football guys. If you don't know anything about a particular subject, my thing would be find someone that knows something about that subject. It's the same thing if you write in the paper. If you don't know anything about biology, find you someone that knows exactly about biology so that paper can be written. It's the same thing with anything else. Get a football guy. A football guy's going to hire a lot of other football guys beneath him.
yep. And again, like I said, if you're especially desperate for Ben Johnson, you know, is Ben Johnson going to go into this interview and be like, I'll work for you guys. I will. We got to get him out there, and he can't do that. He can go take pictures with the fans. I still am shocked that he walks around the palooza of fans, and somehow the man has not gotten assaulted yet. I would honestly, if I'm on the board, I'd be like, hey, George, stop going outside with the fans. At some point, it's 2020. We see a lot of stuff happen in America. Listen,
Well, yeah,
it only takes
that's
one
that
bad.
that that's true too. But in the city of Chicago, man, ain't nobody gonna do no stuff. We don't have that kind of reputation. We ain't those other fans that you see, like let's just say in Oakland when the Raiders were there, or Cleveland. You know, you would never see the Cleveland owner
Philadelphia.
going out into the dog pound, and thanking fans for no dog. No. Even Jeff Lurie wouldn't do no stuff
And see
like
that,
that.
and that's
Those
also the problem. Bear fans let him walk, see him. Yeah, I don't know what they say to him, but you tell him like, "Hey George, can I get a picture?" See, that's
Yeah,
the stupid crap that and
yeah.
then he probably walks up like, "They love me."
Yeah, they love me. Cha-ching. Hey, picture here. Cha-ching. Picture here. Cha-ching. That's all he's thinking about.
And
But
if I ever go to a Bears game, I see this guy walking around, I'm just like, "Bro, sell the team," and I'm just walking away.
yeah, man, dog, I'm good. I'm good. I would no. As a matter of fact, it'd be like George, I won't be back until you get a football guy in charge of the team and you just sit back and watch TV.
Yeah.
That's the last time I'll be coming back.
Yeah. Anyways,
You know,
yeah. Getting back to the game, the stupid thing. So because of everything that happened, they call a timeout. They bring the offense back on the field. I'm like, are you serious, dude? They converted, and then only a few plays later, I think it was after the Rome. No, it was after one catch. I think it was a Roma catch, right? And
yeah,
this is
it was.
what infuriated me, because, and I said in my game recap, I'm like, they're not hustling up to the ball. You got seconds left to go in the game, and I'm watching the ticker, and I'm just like, whoa, 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 what are we doing here? And I'm hearing the clock tick, 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 tick. And I'm just like, call a timeout, idiot! What are we doing? And this guy's just standing there like he's Eberflus, and then Al Michaels and Kurt Herzog like, I don't want to give Bear fans PTSD, but this is looking like Detroit right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and then you see his press conference. They obviously ask him the question about that, and he gave the most nonchalant answer. And when I heard that answer, I'm like, yeah,
he
this kid,
gave a he gave a Eberflus type answer.
he, he, the way he answered it was kind of like, yeah, okay, and it is what it is. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah, he
So
knows
in other
he's not going
words,
to be back.
well, the players don't care, so why should I? I'm not going to be here next year,
Yeah,
so why should I care?
yeah, essentially that's what I took away from the answer. He's like, well, I already know I'm going to be gone, so
Yeah, I know I'm gonna be gone,
who
so
cares?
why should I care? Hey, Ryan, I know you're gonna be gone. Everybody else around here is gonna be gone, so why should I care?
And I said it last night. I'm like, see, that is strictly everything left of Eberflus. You can
Mhm.
bring in a new voice and everything, but at the
Yep,
end of the day, they're the remnants of what Eberflus was. They may have disagreed with maybe some of his opinions or some of his hires in Waldron and his plans and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's Eberflus's staff, and whatever
yep,
Eberflus's staff is going to
yep,
triculate to what he taught them because he's in
yep.
charge of these dudes.
That's
And
correct. That mental that it's like everything that was done over the past 3 years. Everything that was done over the past 3 years, you just can't wipe away in a couple of weeks, because all of those guys have been doing it a certain way for that extended period of time. Everything is going to be the same. The zone defense. Oh my God, the zone defense. Goodness gracious. Eric Washington,
Chris Moore.
Chris Moore, Thomas Brown, all of them. They were basically taught that's the Eberflus way of coaching. And they're not going to change that.
And the worst part is, with all the facts that we hear, all these training camp comments about, like, well, there wasn't really all this going on in training camp. Dude wasn't even holding his own coaches accountable. He
Nope.
was holding himself accountable.
Nope.
So then, you know, altogether, and again, we'll probably say this next week, After the Packer game is over, I don't know if they'll play their starters. I don't know if they want. If they play the starters, it'll probably be for seeding purposes to get a better seed in the wild card. But you look at this season, and we'll talk about it next week and even in another season recap. But you look at this season, and this season was the one season where every Bear fan was so hyped. Okay, it looks like we made the right decisions. We're going in the right direction. And then you get that Tennessee Titans game week 1, and then you're like, oh, so this is not going to be the exact. And then you get through the first couple weeks of the season, you're like, all right, it's not pretty, but we're getting better. And then after the London game, it's like, all right, okay, we're going somewhere. 4-2. You don't play really well in the freaking Washington Commanders game, but you find yourself in a position to win the game. And because of coaching malpractice and then players not being attention to detail, you lose that game. And that's when it starts the whole avalanche. And at some point, again, like many other Bear fans and like those paper bag dudes said, like, why am I here? I'm tired. Like, make it stop. At some point, I understand Bear fans. My uncle's been obviously Bears fan longer than I have. I've been a Bear fan for probably, Jesus, 16 years. I didn't really get invested in the Bears until like the one year we went to the NFC Championship game where we lost to the Packers, right?
Yep.
16 years. At some point, loyalty has a fault. And I
That's
think with the
true.
new generation with Bear fans, they're looking at all these other teams. They're like, man, why am I wasting my time here? I
Yep.
even if it goes against my code. I'd rather be a bandwagon fan for somebody else.
Yep.
And I'm 100%. If they don't get this head coach hire right, I don't know if they'll ever get it right. And maybe Caleb demands a trade after year 2. And at that point, I don't know. You're gonna lose your entire fan base. Obviously, feet has to be held at the feet of the McCaskey family for just consistently doing and making the wrong decisions. I'm not saying they're being cheap. In some aspects, they are being cheap. But at the same time, they're just spending in the wrong places. And at the end of the day, I even said it last night in my game recap. There's a 5% of me that feels like they can get it right. They can fix this. We just got to get somebody in the building that knows what they're doing and will turn everything around. But then there's the other 95% is like, Cameron, what are you talking about? These
Yep.
guys ain't gonna do it. I see my dad always complain about the Bears. They ain't gonna
Yep.
fix this stuff. CM Punk on the Netflix broadcast said, unless the McCaskey sell the team, they ain't going nowhere for the Bears. I don't know. At this point, everybody's frustrated, and rightfully so. I think everybody's just all sick and done with this crap. The Bears are gonna basically have the second worst, season they had in terms of a losing record. Like a few years ago, it was when they had lost 14 straight games in a row. Now it's gonna be going on 12 straight games that they lost. At
Yeah.
some point, I don't care. If you're gonna be content with this, fine. Be content with this and just come out in the media and say we're okay with where we're at right now. And at
It's
that
a
point,
culture thing. It's
yeah,
a
it's a
culture
culture.
thing. It's a culture thing. And the only way you can actually change your culture is that you have to change that culture. A fish rots from the head down. And the only way you can change that culture is change that head, the head of the snake. The head of the snake in this particular case is George McCaskey. Unless he has a full change and he wants to make that change, it'll happen. But he has to want to make that change. It won't happen just because he was like, well, I just need to hire the right people. No, you're gonna hire a bunch of people that is like you. And a culture change, that's deep. And that's the only way it's gonna be made.
Yeah, and for example, obviously for outside, I'm a Clipper fan. We know the whole situation with the Donald Sterling stuff.
Yep,
He was a guy that obviously was very racist towards the players and very offensive to,
correct.
but he set that bad culture that had the Clippers where they were the joke of the NBA. So
And
then,
on the adverse to that, let's just say I'm not a big fan of the Lakers, but Dr. Jerry Buss was just the opposite. That dude was just like, hey man, chips, 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 chips. We're gonna do this. This is the plan to get chips. This is the culture that we're going to create. And it brought forth 17 chips.
yeah. So
Red
then,
Auerbach,
yeah.
same thing. Chips, 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 chips. and it brought forth 18 chips.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a total culture overhaul that needs to happen in Chicago, not just with the Bears, but with a lot of other franchises that's in Chicago as well too. It's a culture thing, and they got to change that immediately, and it's got to start with whoever owns that team.
Yeah, and going up back to the Clippers, Steve Ballmer took over and he
Yeah,
implemented a culture of just energy, passion, love
that's
for the
right.
team.
That's
And
right.
throughout his time owning the Clippers, you know, yeah, they haven't won chips. The closest they've been was 2021 to Western Conference Finals. But at least with my owner in the Clippers, albeit I don't like the way that they go and their philosophy and the way, at least they put competitive basketball and it's a good culture because they have the right
Correct.
people in place. Yeah, I don't
Correct.
like certain player personnel guys in the building, but at least they have a culture where it's like, okay, it's not winning us championships, but it's still a consistent winning formula. We got
Correct.
the coach in place, even though I don't like Ty Lue as much as other Clipper fans do. But
Yeah.
you got players that, hey, we're together. We're obviously, there for each other. We play hard. I don't see the
Yep.
Bears play hard all the time sometimes. Yeah, the
Nope.
defense played hard, but the offense didn't
Nope.
play hard. The culture, obviously, from the Clippers is better. They got their new stadium done.
Yep.
They announced that 5 years ago, got that stuff done. We're still over here fumbling what our stadium deal is going to be. I don't know. But,
Yep.
and maybe some of that has to go with the fact that Kevin Warren has to go away from that for a bit because he's got to focus about what's happening on the field because he's got guys inept, not being able to do their jobs effectively.
Starting with the first person beneath his feet, Ryan Poles. Yes, a culture to do a complete culture overhaul. You just got to clean house and get people that is just like you to run the operation so you can do your job. And that's exactly where the Bears are at right now. They just don't have the right people in place, football people in place, so that Kevin Warren can do his job. And if that falls apart, then the problem was Kevin Warren. You got to be able to clean the house beneath your feet. And that's where the Bears are right now. George McCaskey has got to leave this thing alone, get football people, and let these football people, they just ride or die with their decisions.
Anyways, we can have more discussions about what could happen after the game recap against Green Bay. I said last night it's a winnable game, barring who they play. But even then, Malik Willis will probably throw
That's
the
going
ball
to
or
be a
something.
short game. Man, come on. Come on. I mean, don't think that, let's just say Thomas Brown is going to save his job by beating Green Bay. I don't think beating Green Bay is going to help him at all. Ryan Poles at all. I just don't see it. I'm picking Green Bay right now here today.
Yeah. Just they're gonna put us out of our misery, and we'll go into the offseason
Yes.
wondering what to do next.
Yes.
We're gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and we'll be back next week for NFL predictions and then Bears versus Packers recap. Till then, guys.
Yep.